Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Claudia Henderson Creations. And in today's video, we will create another scrapbooking layout for Halloween. And I'm using the scrapbooking workshop from Stampin' Up called Halloween Memories. And this one is a really great workshop kit because it comes with a bunch of extra stuff that you normally don't get in your paper packs. So for once, you get enough design paper and cardstock to create these 3 double-page layouts, plus there is specialty papers for your layouts that you don't get anywhere else, and you get an entire sticker sheet to decorate your layout. So I am determined, because these layouts are pretty and I like them, but I figured to show you what else you can do if you get a kit like this. You can either make these layouts just as they are, and there's instruction in here, there's a cutting guide in here, or you can just take the pieces and do your own. I will be also pulling in the Potions and Spells stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. That will be one for decorations. This one this is the mini alphabet dies from Stampin' Up, but I'm not sure, depending on how much I might need title wise or so, we will see. And then I might also pull in this one. Here's an old stamp set and die set from Close to My Heart, which has a nice spider web in it and a couple of ghosts, but I will see what I need. We have a little sketch challenge in our group every month, and Erin posted this one here, so this is going to be my inspiration for this layout. And I was going through my papers, and like I said, I wanted to use whatever was in this kit. So if you buy this kit, you don't really have to add anything extra to it. Maybe a sheet of white cardstock, but we all have that laying around, I'm pretty sure. But for now, I figured, okay, I'm gonna go with what I have. So due to creating the first layout, and then I already put paper aside for a second layout that I know I want to make, I was a little bit short on cardstock, so making a whole sheet, a framed layout with a colored cardstock was not in the picture right now, because I only have one green sheet and one blue sheet, so I had to figure out a different way. And then I found this specialty paper, and I thought this will work for the idea that I have. And like I said, I'm pretty close, going pretty close to the sketch here, and I already cut my papers down, so I had to check which papers were left, which papers did I wanted to use. And one of the papers that I really wanted to use was this combination, the stripes and the bubbles, and naturally they're on the same side. So I cut these down to size according to the sketch, and I'm gonna put these here for now. And then on the other side, it's the same papers, just a little bit different. So we have 2 stripes here, and we make them look like they go all the way across. And then we had 1 stripe down here, and I figured this purple would make it nice and pop. So I'm gonna put this one down here, and I might have to move this up a little bit here, just a tad. Let's see. The nice thing about this grid paper is that you can actually line things up really well. It's not a wonky grid, it's a really nice grid. So let's see, that looks good here. And then we have another strip on this side, so I'm just lining this up. Whoops. And I'm not sure if I keep them all the way across or if I will shorten them. I might leave them that way. We will see how it turns out. Okay, and then we have these ones here, and I'm just gonna make sure that they're even with this side, so everything is level. Okay, and then the right side called for a 4x6, which I have here, but also for a 3x3. Now we could put a 3x3 down here, which will work too, but I like a 3x4. It's a little bit bigger, and we can make this work down here. Just move it down a little bit more. So in the sketch on this side, we had a 4x6 and 2 4x3s, and I think this is a great idea. So we're gonna Put these two down here. And then pretty much that's for the paper. I think what I will do is I'm gonna use either some purple or some orange just to bring in a little bit more color, and use my brush to brush on some extra little pieces here. But that all depends on where we're gonna put our decoration. So for once, they had a cluster right here in the sketch. There's one up here, and then there's one down here. But I will see how big they will be. So for me, this one would be a great start here because it's a pretty big decoration. And we can move this a little bit further over here. There we go. So I think I'm gonna put a cauldron here with the bubbles coming out. I'm also gonna put this little kitty catty here. Miss Mischievous. I don't know if I put it here or I think she's gonna go somewhere here. And then on this side, I figured, so I had half of a spider web left from the other layout that I've done, and I thought this might be a nice thing to tuck right behind here. And then I have a couple of maybe some potion spell books, and our little crow can go here. So these are all otherwise from the potion and spells set, and I know this one was on back order, so if you're interested, I can list down below too when it will be back in stock. And then I have another one here, spells and potions, and I got a couple of these, and they're not colored yet, they're just die cut, but maybe we can put a couple of these up here. Put this one down here, or maybe one fell over, I don't know. We will see. Put a couple of these bottles here. Maybe put a few more books here. And I think that's looking pretty good. So I will embellish more of these. I have one of these little brooms here. So we could see if we put the broom down here or by the cat. Let's leave it here. And then we have the sticker sheet. So I already used quite a few things from the sticker sheet. And I just cut out a few items because I figured, you know, sometimes it's easier when you cut them out to put them on your layout instead of taking them off, taking the stickiness off like I normally would do. And I got this one here. So this one, Halloween, was on there, and I really like the colors that will go well with this layout. In the original, we had the title going down here, but that looks kind of funky. So I'm gonna leave my title up here somewhere, and then I might make some more bubble decorations here, or we can put I forgot we have those bats here too, so maybe we put a couple of bats flying out here. That would work. There's a couple of tags here I can add to it. And then we have these cute strips. So I might add those to the photos too, or put little tags behind it. The journaling will go here. And then I also have these really thin great stickers. So these can go at the end on some of those clusters as well. So that is my interpretation of that particular layout or sketch that we got. I will start taking this down, putting a little bit ink down, and think about a little bit more about what decorations I want to put on there. So before I start cleaning up everything and adhering everything, I like to do some ink blending too, and I decided I go with the purple, and I thought I just made a swatch here to see a little bit what it would look like. And I think with the purple, that kind of gives it a little bit more interest here. Same as over on this side. We put this one down here. naturally not over the paper, but I think this will work. So I will take my brush and my ink, and I decided I'm just gonna use the Royal Ink from Close to My Heart, which is similar to, let me see quick, you can use Gorgeous Grapes. So I just wanted to have a little bit that's nice and poppy, and I think this will work. Okay, one thing is the title. So the title has white, but it also has, you know, more detailed border. So I'm gonna do some ink blending here because I know I want to put the title somewhere up here. So let's put a little bit on that side. Grab my all-purpose mat, and I'm just gonna move this on the side so I don't get any ink on here. I don't like to do this on the paper, especially not when I have a dark color, because knowing me, I always get this on the project. Okay, so I'm just gonna lightly start here, and this is a very intense ink, so I'm just gonna do a little at a time. I can always add more, but you never can take it back. So let's see how this one looks. I think it can go a little bit deeper. Okay, and when you're using your Stampin' Up ink, just remember they're very juicy, so you don't really need a lot of your ink. Just make sure you kind of like test it on the side a little bit before you go on your project. Okay, and I think this is good. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. I know I keep saying that and then I add more. Take a little bit further out here and up here. And then we should be fine. Okay. I also wanted to put a little bit here, and I'm just moving these as well. So I know there's gonna be one cluster here, so I'm gonna do a little bit here on this side, and then we do the same on the opposite side. And I will finish these because I'm gonna do one more here and one more down there, and then I will adhere the papers, and maybe we do some stamping here. So I will be right back. Okay, now you can see, so I got my, for my title, I got a little bit of color down here, and then I also have my two spots over on the side, up here and here. So while I have my all-purpose mat out, I figured I'd do a little bit more ink sponging around some of the embellishments. Here you see this one on the left is already inked up, the right one is not, and I'm just gonna go around the edges with some black ink to kind of hide those white core edges from die cutting and give the cauldron a little bit more definition. I did also ink up in black these tags that you see there, which beside one I end up not using, so I kind of cut this out of the video. That was just a process of, you know, testing things out, and it just didn't work. So here you are, and I think this one actually can use a little bit more ink, but I just think it makes it more complete. Now we grab our little kitty catty, and she gets also a little bit ink treatment around the edges. And I also off camera did the paper. So the stripe paper and the bubble paper both had been etched with the black ink, and the purple stripe that was etched with the purple color. And you will see later, this one wasn't quite dry when I handled it, or I had something on my finger, but keep watching. And for now I'm just giving those edges a little treatment, and I will do the crow as well. in a moment, and I think that's just finishes off these embellishments a little bit. I don't do this all the time, but once in a while, and depending on what theme you have and how the die cut looks, it just gives it a little bit more dimension. So here we get our little crow, so let's give that one a little color too. And I also went around the photo mats because the photo mats can also be used as a mat. So when you put your pictures on, cut them down a little bit smaller than 4x6, and you will see the white frame with the black edge. Okay, so now the papers are all down, and didn't I predicted it? So I got a smudge here. I don't even know how. I assume it maybe was on my fingers, but it is always the dark blue, red, or in this case purple color. That happens, but we will cover this up, so I'm not worried about it. I will wait with my pictures until I have everything else settled. So let's start with our sticker here for the Halloween, and I think I like it right there. Okay, so now our picture mats, photo mats are down, and I use these little tags here and put them aside, and I also use one to cover up the little oops, which works fine. So we have two here, we have a purple one here, and then I used the tri-blend from Spectrum Noir. It's called Burnt Orange Blend, and I used the medium and the light side to color in my bubbles here, and so they're a little bit more like the orange in the paper. And I will treat them a little bit more. So these are individual, they were just white, there's no stamp for those, but when you look at this one here, so this is, and I remember that the slimy that comes out of the cauldron, and I found this old Stickels in my, it's called Fruit Punch. It's actually more pinkish, but due to the orange undertone, I think it just makes it really interesting. So this is going to go on top here, and then I will add a little bit more sparkle on there as we go along, but I don't want to do this right now because then I just touch it. And I decided to put the broom over on this side. Not sure yet how I'm gonna incorporate this, and I have my little kitty here, but something else need to go in here, so I'll be working on that one, maybe like we did earlier, put in this one here. Not sure yet, so I need something to ground our little kitty here, and put the broom over here, and then I put out these two little ghosts I might add to it. I'm not sure yet. I might leave them. Nothing is adhered yet, so we will see, but I'm gonna put the spider web, I think, down here, and then I will put up my bottles, and I might need another book set. So let me cut one more out of these, and then I will adhere everything else. And let me put this aside before I touch it. And I think we're pretty much done at the end, so give me 1 second. So off camera, I kind of colored in some of those little elements like the books and the bottles with those tri-blend markers from Spectrum Noir. I have them in multiple colors, so that was just the easiest way. And they're all different. I used a black pen, and this is actually the black Stampin' Right from Stampin' Up, which was really nice, the brush side, to go around the edges of each of those. That gives them a nice definition. And then that little tag that you see on there, I just used a fine journaling pen to put on there, and also a white gel pen to go around the edges on the top there, like for the glass, you know, when you have glass, how it gives it a shine. And the books, when they die cut, they had a little bit wider white border, so I cut this down, but they all looked a little bit off, so I used the black pen to go around there as well. And then this is a sticker strip from the sticker sheet, and I just cut it in half, and I think this will make a nice cover up, because the spider web kind of, like, you know, it needs something to merge it with the purple strip down there. So I figured this dotted piece will work fine. I just have to cut off a little piece and then dovetail it. And I think this will make a nice base to build my cluster with the books and the bottles on there. Just a little bit extra. Otherwise, they're kind of hanging in midair. I don't know. Something was missing, so I think this will work. And now we just have to arrange our bottles back and the little book stack. And it doesn't really matter, but when you arrange these little clusters, especially like here with the bottles, make sure you put one on top of each other so they're a little bit offset, or behind the books there, so it just looks a little bit more natural. And a good way to get even better results, see, I tucked that one behind the strip a little bit, and then also get some dimensionals and pop a few things up. They don't have to be super high, but if you use those small dimensionals that Stampin' Up has, or I'm using here my old stash square ones, but just a couple to pop up these books. And then I will also pop up the two front bottles on each side, which again just makes it more interesting and it looks more realistic. So even so, if you're a flat scrapbooker, these small dimensionals don't really take up a lot of space, but it just gives it that extra little interest. So let's glue the two bottles that go flat on the layout first, and then we will adhere the rest together. And like I said, always remember, tuck things behind you know, like a strip or photo or something. It just makes it more interesting. There you can see the white gel pen that I used just on the edge there, so you know, it gives it a little shine, makes it more realistic looking. And now we put the books in the center between the two, and as you can see, they overlap the one bottle a little bit, but they also are a little bit further down than the other two. So make sure you stash your elements in different heights too, so they're not all in the same line, because then it just doesn't look right. So we have one more, this little round bottle, and then I think this cluster is pretty much finished. And let's see, I have a stamp here too, a little hocus pocus, which I thought would be cute to put on there, but I'm not quite sure and committed yet to do that. So let's make sure we have everything else adhered. I think these books need to be raised too. And here's the same thing. So I'm gonna raise the book stack, and then the crow will be flat to the page. And I think this little bottle, yeah, that can get a little pop up too. So these two things will be raised, the rest is gonna be flat, and it just gives it a more realistic three-dimensional look when you do that. So the crow will be kind of like slightly tucked behind the books. Otherwise, when you just stack them right on top, it looks kind of weird. I think I got that one piece too close. Let's move that a little bit so then we can stick our photo underneath without a problem. And yeah, let's put the books here and possibly straight. And then let's put some adhesive on the crow, and we can adhere that one directly to the paper, so it almost looks like it's really sitting on top of the stack of books. And then we add our little bottle, and we tuck this one a little bit behind the books there and a little bit higher, so like I said, it's a little bit of a cluster in different heights. Now we're gonna cover up our little boo-boo, or my boo. It just, sometimes it happens. So you know, just instead of trying to get rid of it, ink, especially this type of colored ink, you will never get out, so you just have to cover it up. Things happen. Nothing we can't solve, so it's all good. And then we're gonna adhere this one, and as you can see, the layouts, the papers as well as the photo mats all have the black ink around them. Like I said, I did those off camera, so you didn't have to watch me doing that. All right, and what I did on one side, I'm gonna repeat on the other side. So I have 2 extra stacks of bucks, and I also have that black strip, which I will adhere parallel to the other side. Okay, so I adhered everything down, and as you can see here, so I put the broom over on this side. I stacked the book. So this is raised, this is flat. The little kitty is raised. Here we got the little stickles, so I'm gonna add some more stickles on that one here too. The journaling is gonna go in here, and I will do some journaling strips, I think. That we can, so we're gonna put some journaling strips here, and then this one, let me make sure I got everything. Yep. So here we have a little cluster with all the bottles and the potion, and we have our little crow here. And I think, like I said, I'm gonna add some of the stickles here when we're all done. And I still think about a little hocus pocus, so that could go even here on the strip or up here. We could put it up here. Okay, but then I also have these little stars clusters in that Stampin' die set that I think will look cute as little extras, because you know, we can do a little bit stamping more on the layout. So I'm gonna put them on a block and use some black ink, and I will just spread them around a little bit. And that is actually the hardest part, is to stop or know when to stop. So let's see how many I can place here, because they're just so tiny and I think they will work really nice. So let's put one maybe here, and then you can see there's some bigger and some smaller dots. They're really cute, and maybe one there. So that's kind of, usually you go in threes, but well, that not always happens. So I'm gonna put one here on the strip, and then I'm gonna put maybe 2 up here or 3. You also have to be a little bit vigilant where you place them. But yeah, you don't want them too close together, and I don't know, I think you know, let's leave them by 2. Sometimes 2 is fine too. They always say it's better in 3s, but you know, you make the judgment call. And then I'm gonna place a couple here. So as you can see, the stripe paper, those bubbles, they are die cuts, and that white piece is actually an opening when you die cut them. So I strategically placed them with this opening on the white strip, so it shines through, and it's cohesive with all of them. So when you see this and you die cut them and you go like, why is there an opening? So I really just moved them right on top of the white with that opening, so that way they just blend in better. So I'm still trying to figure out if I want that stamp set down here, or the little hocus pocus up there, or down here at the bottom. But I think on the bottom here, this is where it should go. Up here something is missing too, but I'm just gonna go for it and try to place it right down here, and I think this will work out perfectly with the stamp. Now let's quick clean the stamp, and then I might come back with those little stars and add a few more just on the side here to frame it a little bit. So now that we have everything adhered, everything is stamped, I added my stickles on the remaining bubbles and the bubbles that come out of the cauldron, and you can see there I only added the stickles to like half of these bubbles, so not the entire thing, and it's just a fun shimmery accent. I really like that. And then I also added another piece of blue paper on the bottom of the photo there, where I added some of those word strips that are in the sticker sheet, just to make it look like it's one cohesive strip. And I added some faux stitching with a white gel pen around, but I just noticed I forgot to do this on this bottom part here, so let me quick add the faux stitching, and it's just simple, a white gel pen and going around the edges. If you need to, you can use a ruler, but I'm just doing it freehand, and that will finish this off. I also used a couple of those black stars that come in a sticker sheet on that side, and I'm pretty happy how this turned out. Now on this side, I used Stickels on the spider webs, just on those long lines there, and then I put those 2 tabs. I added the faux stitching as well, and overall I'm very happy. So let's recap. We're using the Halloween Memories scrapbooking workshop kit from Stampin' Up, and while you can create these 3 beautiful double page layouts with this set, I give you an extra 3 ideas to maybe switch the kit up a little bit. So I'm using the same products that come in the kit, just for 3 different layouts. And for this layout, I actually used a sketch that my upline gave us. So this is layout number 2 from this set, and I also pulled in this Potion and Spells stamp and die set from Stampin' Up, and I will link down below if it's available again or when it will be back, because I know it was on back order. And the other set that I pulled in was the Irresistible set from from Close to My Heart, and I only used the die cut for the spider web there, so if you have something similar you can use that. And I did cut out some of those ghosts, but they didn't make it in this layout, so maybe next time. And to give you an idea, so here is the first layout that I did with the same paper pack. And you can see here the one side has a bunch of different squares, which is, by the way, an awesome way to use leftover papers from a pack. So if you don't have enough to make a full layout, these grid style with the different squares in the background, they're awesome to use up all your leftover papers. So the video to this one I will link down below. That was on last week. And other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy how this turned out. So if you like this video, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Otherwise, I will see you back here next week. Thanks for watching.